Welcome back. Glad to see you made it back with me. Tonight we got a canine imposter, 𝐟𝐨𝐫𝐞, H2O, and other creepy videos from all around the world. So kick back, grab your snacks, and let's go.
The State Water Resources Council Board on Tuesday voted to allow water companies to pump treated wastewater into residents' taps. Yeah, toilet to tap, flush to faucet, poop to pitcher, gas to glass, colon to cup, dookie to drink, POO to H2O, urination to hydration, spleen to canteen, stench to quench. That's right, Californians are going to be drinking toilet water, specifically LA and San Diego, which seems to me, if you're going to be recycling wastewater, you might want to think twice about starting in the two metro areas that are best known for great Mexican food, especially the LA cats. You got to hope you're not in the same district as John Goodman, you know what I mean? But look, everyone is drinking recycled wastewater. You just want to be drinking indirect potable reuse. This has been a long time coming in California because there's buku droughts in California, and the deadline was coming up. Essentially, at the end of this year, they had to drink or get off the pot, and they chose to drink. So California, go figure.
Ain't no way I'm ever drinking water out the faucet. Matter of fact, I'm just gonna turn the whole thing off just in case. Because if I get a yeast infection from washing my veggies off, I'm gonna sue the entire city.
Dame la plata, plata. Cash, cash, cash. Bam, bam, she wanna flick for the gram. Toda esa puta saben who I am, so she wanna check this bitch on cam. Like, hold up, she wanna swallow this pull up. Soon as I bust, I'ma roll up. Phone lines are better, I pull up. Papi te paga los biles.
Amazing footage of a rarely seen sea creature has stunned thousands of people around the world. The Technicolor animal was seen gliding along the surface of the ocean in between a jetty and a row of kayaks. The video quickly went viral on Facebook, leading to many commenters trying to identify the creature. Aquatic biology lecturer Dr. Benjamin Moss told Yahoo News Australia the animal appears to be a blanket octopus, which he said are rarely seen by humans because they tend to live in the open ocean and move around a lot searching for prey. Some viewers expressed concern for the octopus given it was filmed swimming at the surface during the day, which Dr. Moss agreed is generally an atypical behavior for most marine animals. He said, in comparison to other images and videos of blanket octopus that I've seen, the mantle appears overly large or inflated. This might explain why the animal appears to be swimming at the surface in the daylight.
So tell me, do you believe, was Disney trying to tell us something? Crazy, right? Some things are just an optical illusion, right? Well, is this an optical illusion? Look at that and tell me you don't know what that is. Go ahead and tell me that confidently and mean it. Because you know darn well what that is. You can see it. No, that's not a carving. That's a petrified animal from the days of old.
Do you see this?
Yes.
Do you see this?
Yep.
It's freaking nature, and it's freaking awesome.
Yes, it is. And I don't think science can properly explain how these animals were petrified so quickly to where they were able to preserve their form through all these years. And you know, that really got me thinking. There's plenty of statues on this earth that are thousands of years old. Now, what if they were petrified beings? Now, I know, it's just a thought. And yeah, I can't wait for the Mount Rushmore jokes. And you can joke all you want, but I promise you truth is stranger than fiction.
My wife told me to pick up 6 cans of Sprite at the grocery store. When I got home, I realized I'd picked 7 up.
You're American when you go into the bathroom and out of the bathroom. But where are you when you're in the bathroom?
What?
European.
My wife accused me of stealing her thesaurus. Not only was I shocked, I was appalled, aghast, and dismayed.
My wife asked if I've seen the dog bowl. I said I never knew he did.
Oh, that's such a good one. That's such a good one, too.
Here's the owner. If you can't come in her, come on her. Yeah! Born in the USA!
Go ahead, baby.
Hey, me, Mom.
A lot of people are upset over this, but I just call it good old-fashioned comedy. You can't take this stuff too serious, or else what's the point of being in the land of the free?
This is insane. We're supposed to be a unit. So, a unit.
Have you guys seen this new LeBron James ad? This ad is pure demonic.
They called him the chosen one. He carried the weight of every expectation on his shoulders. But he never broke. We were all witnesses. Every rival was defeated. Every idol was destroyed. He took the crown and kept it. Behold the greatness. He is the forever king.
If you all can't see the issue with this ad, I don't know what more to add or to even say, because they are calling him the forever king in this ad. There is only one true forever king, and that is Jesus Christ. So this ad right here is pure satanic, and this is very disturbing stuff.
Large Hadron Collider is the world's most powerful particle accelerator. This magnificent machine, located in Geneva, Switzerland. The Large Hadron Collider is a massive ring-shaped tunnel that is 27 kilometers long. It is capable of accelerating protons to near light speed before smashing them together, creating new particles. The LHC is helping scientists make incredible discoveries about the fundamental building blocks of the universe. By recreating conditions similar to those in the moments after the Big Bang, they are uncovering the mysteries of dark matter, antimatter, and the Higgs boson. The Large Hadron Collider is a remarkable achievement of human engineering.
When did the Large Hadron Collider go live?
That was 2007, I think it was, or 2008.
How large is it? How large is it?
It's 27 kilometers, so what's that, about 16 miles?
16 miles, and it's a circular, sort of a building.
Well, it's a big tube. I mean, you think basically it's mainly under France and partly under Switzerland, and it accelerates protons around in a circle, both ways. One beam goes one way, one goes the other way, and they go around 11,000 times a second. So that's very close to the speed of light, 99.999999% the speed of light. And then we cross the beams and collide the particles. And in those collisions, you're recreating the conditions that were present less than a billionth of a second after the Big Bang.
All right, it's official. We have a date. So as we know, Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna has been teasing a major announcement that she feels will impact the entire nation. In an interview, she was also asked if it was aliens, and she mentioned she thought it was bigger than that. At first, many people's minds went straight to full disclosures happening, and then it changed to, well, what's bigger than aliens? But as I mentioned before, I don't think it's specifically about aliens or interdimensional beings or full UAP disclosure, but my best guess, perhaps a newly formed disclosure division, a government office, is set to officially handle how UAP information is released to the public. Now, we have a date, Tuesday, February 11th at 3 p.m. Let me know what you think.
I don't think this is the right person to bring full disclosure. I mean, I appreciate the effort and all, but at the same time, it feels like a real sci-fi movie played out in real life for her as the president.
You have so many great ideas. Your leadership is truly beyond anything we have ever had in this country. And you do not have a small thanks, gang. On behalf of the state of Florida, I'd like to give you this gift, a silver-plated space shuttle.
Next!
So ain't no way y'all out here buying Jesus Ouija boards. Just when I thought I've seen it all. Yes, they are selling Jesus Ouija boards where you can connect with the Holy Spirit, demonic spirits. Remember, we don't wrestle with flesh and blood. You are talking to these familiar spirits in higher places. You're asking them questions like they're the Holy Spirit. People will do anything but go to Jesus. I feel like I'm a broken record. You cannot pull Jesus into something that is worldly, dark, and demonic. People often try to pull Jesus into it, and just because they make a Jesus version of it, they think that it makes it holy. It does not. I don't know how many times I have to say that. You have bought this and you are asking it questions and you're thinking that you're talking to Jesus. You are 110% deceived. Ouija boards are inherently demonic. The origin of it is demonic. I feel like this should be without saying. The origin of it is demonic.
I think that cartoons would be the last place you'd see real witchcraft, right? But in actuality, that's the best place for it to hide. Shows like Owl House, Sabrina the Teenage Witch, Little Demon, and even Disenchantment, they don't just feature magic. They use actual spellcasting structures straight out of the occult. You will literally see characters using incantations in Latin, drawing sigils, and sometimes even full-on draw a summoning circle right there on the screen, which are all methods real witches use. Some shows even hire witchcraft consultants just to make sure that their shows are 100% authentic. That's not just storytelling, that's strategic exposure. They're not just trying to get the next generation comfortable with casting and conjuring and communicating with demons. They're trying to initiate their souls before they realize what happened. And the more entertaining, the more desensitized they become. That's why you usually see your favorite people always doing the same type of dark roles. They're already initiated. So the devil isn't just showing up in horror, he's showing up in animation as well. Bright and funny does not equal innocent. It's just indoctrination in disguise. Conviction over comfort. Follow me if you're into that.
You've heard of the Mandela effect, right? Where groups of people remember certain things differently. For example, there's a group of people who swear that Fruit of the Loom always had a cornucopia. But there's another group of people, including the company themselves, who swear that it never had one. But what if no one is wrong in either scenario? What if, in fact, this is actually proof that we've slipped into another universe? Stick around, because this explanation may just blow your mind.
All right. It happens when it gets in the room. See it?
Did you see it?
And then back out here. Yeah.
So let's zoom in. Watch the EI change to an AI right before your very eyes, and then right back.
I would freak out if I saw this in real life. As an avid former reader, I'm pretty sure it was Berenstein, just like Frankenstein. No matter which one it is, it's never too late for a good bedtime story.
Wool host annual host annual an annual meeting of
Since we're talking about the Book of Enoch, let's talk about the fact that almost everything that we do in modern day was taught to humanity by fallen angels. Y'all thought that Adam and Eve were the only ones that sinned and that they're the only reason why so much evil is going on? No, it goes so much deeper than that. Let's get into it. I want to preface this by saying I read the Book of Enoch as history, not as scripture. I make sure to cross-check everything that I put in my videos with biblical text to make sure I'm not steering people in the wrong direction. Without further ado, let's talk about it. I never knew that there was a group of fallen angels that each taught humanity something else that we were never meant to know. Did y'all know that we were never meant to read or write? You have to remember that we were made in the image of God. And similar to the angels, we were just supposed to be living in peace, living our best life. So reading and writing actually came from the knowledge of fallen angels. I mean, just think about it. Spelling, spell, cursive, curse. You don't have to dive too deep to see that things aren't really what they seem. A fallen angel named Azazel actually taught us makeup and other cosmetics, teaching us to be able to appear as something that we're not. Another fallen angel named Gadriel taught us how to make weapons of war and how to unalive someone with a single blow. That includes teaching us about things like the carotid artery and the anatomy of humans so that we know where to pierce with a weapon to take somebody out. Another fallen angel named Barakel taught us astrology, and this is the reason why God is so against astrology, aka learning things from the stars and the cosmos rather than relying on the word of God, is because that's heavenly knowledge that we were never meant to know. Now, some people take this as, okay, well, why does God want humans to be stupid? Why doesn't he want us to know this knowledge? Is it so that he can control us? No, he gives us free will, but with free will, he knows that we're gonna mess it up. We're gonna find a way to warp all of his creation and all the knowledge that was bestowed upon us. Look at the world we live in right now. What have humans touched that they haven't ruined? I'm waiting. Yeah. Fallen angels even introduced things such as consuming the stuff that comes out of your veins, the liquid that comes out of your veins. I don't want to say that and get banned. I've already had so many videos taken down because I'm trying to give y'all the truth. Anyway, and that's where it came into paganistic rituals of consuming that liquid. It all ties together, guys. And this is why I find the Book of Enoch so fascinating, because everything in it makes sense. Everything in it kind of like further explains biblical text, in my opinion. I will be happy to make a part 2 to talk about this more and discuss more of the fallen angels' heavenly knowledge.
Am I the only one that still thinks about that BBC walrus scandal? What was that? I just realized what that sounded like. Okay, context. So growing up an animal nerd is realizing nature documentaries be lying sometimes. To be fair, it makes sense. Imagine you're documenting the life of an elephant and homie gets packed up by hyenas by year 2, then what? Just curtains. So a lot of times they'll just film multiple animals, take all the footage, and just make a story out of what they got. Sometimes they don't have one, they gotta make one anyway. For sport heads, think about how the offseason had folks debating LeBron versus Mewtwo. Yes, this was real. Sometimes documentaries take narrative ball too far. So the walrus scene was from one called Our Planet. Don't look it up if you have a weird, you're gonna look it up anyway. Just don't blame me when you do. So the scene shows walruses on a beach, and apparently because of climate change and disappearing sea ice, you get hundreds of thousands of breathing blubber balls crowding one beach. So bad that some would climb cliffs to get away. Last chance to scroll, causing the walruses to eventually panic and fall 200 plus feet to their deaths while trampling each other. I'm not going to show it because obviously, but the cliff was more walrus than rock at the end. Now the problem is, once it went live, people came out and said they had faked the footage, that it was actually a polar bear that had scared the walruses off the edge. To be fair, Disney told an entire generation that lemmings commit mass unalivings when really they staged it and ran them off a cliff. So one side said they manipulated footage to push climate change. Other side said sure, polar bear, but they wouldn't have been up there if they had enough sea ice. One side said walrus has been falling since the first Space Jam and that the recording drones could have caused it. Other side said walruses raise their kids on sea ice, so displaced single mothers are why it's so crowded. I actually believe it's a little bit of both, but either way, moral of the story, if you hear it in a documentary, or me, take it with a grain of salt. I've actually repeated stuff and gotten it wrong, so the more you know, you don't know much.
Well, this just goes to show that once you've taken all you can bear, it really doesn't take that much to push you over the edge.
I don't usually do this, I swear. Yeah, right.
Better not tell nobody.
You need to do something with that weird girl. Comb it, flat iron it or something. Ain't sound like no pit bull puppy.
These truths that are in plain sight, they're found all over the place. You can't not see them. They are everywhere. Just reminding you that you woke up and you're on the right path. But yeah, we're at the North Pole, standing on the globe, standing on the pedestal. The Earth is flat. Peace.
Snakes and predators are such a threat to this Ethiopian tribe that they've mastered walking on stilts. It also helps them cross marshy terrain without getting stuck. They've been doing this for centuries, turning it into survival and tradition. Some of these stilts reach up to 10 feet, and walking on them is second nature. Be honest, would you fall in the first 5 seconds?
Your favorite gel nail polish is likely banned in Europe starting this week. As of September 1st, the EU has prohibited the use of TPO, a common ingredient in gels, for use in nail products. TPO is short for trimethylbenzoyl diphenylphosphine oxide. Yeah, I had to read that. That was a tough one. But it gives nails that ultra glossy finish and quick dry time under a UV light. The problem is that some research has linked it to adverse effects on sexual health and fertility. Now, to be clear, the research is on animal studies, not human studies. But out of an abundance of caution, the EU has decided that nail products with TPO can no longer be sold or offered in salons. Polishes with TPO are still unregulated in the US. So if you're looking for a gel mani in good old America, nothing's changing. But if you're concerned and want to limit your exposure, you can seek out salons that offer TPO-free brands like OPI. You may even want to space out your gel manis or even switch back to regular polish. It's also worth noting that the UV light that's used to cure gel polish could increase your risk of skin cancer, so that may be a reason to change your habits too.
Buzz Aldrin admits the moon landing was fake.
What was the scariest moment of the journey?
Scariest? It didn't happen. It could have been scary. Circuit breaker.
Why has nobody been to the moon in such a long time?
That's not an 8-year-old's question. That's my question. I want to know, but I think I know. Because we didn't go there, and that's the way it happened. And if it didn't happen, it's nice to know why it didn't happen so So in the future, if we want to keep doing something, we need to know why something.
Fasting. I remember very clearly, I think anybody who was alive at the time does. I remember my parents waking me up and we went down and we watched you guys land on the moon.
No, you didn't.
What?
Because there wasn't any television. There wasn't anybody taking a picture. You watched animation. So you associated what you saw with...
I have very hazy memories.
I know.
If you have an addiction to lust or pornography, it's because you carry a deep capacity for intimacy, covenant, and healing. Perverting love is how Satan prevents true restoration. That's true. Crazy. If you have fear of rejection or abandonment, it's because you carry a spirit of belonging and reconciliation. You were made to gather the outcasts, so he tries to make you feel like one. Damn. You have an obsession with appearance or body image. It's because you're meant to reflect God's glory, not the world's standards. So he's gonna try to get you to hate your image. Damn. It's bars though. If you're drawn to witchcraft, astrology, or manifestation, it's because you have a prophetic gift meant for God's kingdom. The enemy counterfeits your gift to keep you out of alignment. If you struggle with overspending or greed, it's because you're meant to be a kingdom financer. So he wants to keep you broke so he can never bless others.
Nowadays, we live in a world where everyone wants to be perfect. It's okay to have goals, but never be too hard on yourself. Remember, when that voice in the back of your head starts to talk, you ain't always gotta listen.
Oh my God!
Recently, sky observers from around the world have been uploading videos in the footage where there was once only blue sky and white clouds. Clear images of cities suddenly appear. Skyscrapers, streets, lights, even moving silhouettes like reflections from another world hanging above our skies. Scientists attempt to explain it, some suggesting it's light refraction similar to a mirage. But the problem is, these cities didn't appear over deserts or oceans, but over places like New York, Beijing, and Paris, lasting for tens of minutes with details precise enough to almost make out building outlines even more astonishing. Some researchers propose this might be a brief leak from a parallel dimension, a momentary overlap between our reality and another world, allowing us to glimpse another civilization through the sky.
ये तुम्हारी उंगली है हिलाना हाथ में कितनी उंगली दिखाना सब पूरी है 5 है हटाओ हटाओ जरा दिखाओ तो सही सब 5 अच्छा ये एक्स्ट्रा यहाँ पे निकली है एक्स्ट्रा ये भोलेनाथ का आओ सही है
Please stop bringing your pets into the grocery store and claiming they're service dogs when they are clearly not. Somebody in Colorado just this weekend decided to bring their dog into what looks like a Walmart, and their dog somehow climbed up behind the counter in the vegetables, and this is very clearly not a service dog because no real service dog would do this. But look at this. Now the dog is walking on all these vegetables, and she's trying to say that it's just her service dog. I'm sure you've seen it before. Somebody brings their dog into the grocery store, and when the sign out front says service dogs only, they know that nobody will actually ask them if that's a real service dog, or they put a fake service dog vest on that clearly not a service dog dog. Because no service dog would be climbing up into the vegetables like this for no reason when this woman right here cannot even get control of it. That's not what a service dog does. And this person here makes a great point. They said that they train and work with service dogs. And there's only 4 reasons that this dog would do what it did. 1, the animal is very sick or overheated. The woman's fault, if true. Number 2, the animal is not a valid service dog. That's what I think it is. Number 3, the dog broke training and needed retraining. Very rare. Or 4, the dog is being abused.
Well, I hope they took those veggies out because dog paws are not a salad ingredient. The only way they're going to stop doing this is if they hire fake security dogs to match.
Big dog, no small bark, I'm cool on your feedback. Yeah. Anxiously, anxiously funny. It's been pissed on my minutes.
It describes as a new initiative designed to fuse cutting-edge tech expertise with military innovation. 4 ultra-wealthy executives from top tech companies were sworn into the unit ahead of President Trump's heavily promoted military parade, which was itself sponsored by Palantir. The Army's top spokesman declared that the Detachment 201 was being created to bring in tech innovation executive leaders to help the Army with the recruitment and the subsequent training of tech-focused people. So if it's not bad enough that we've got these 4 CEOs here that are in charge of meddling and having access to our private information, now they're going into the military, and now they're going to use AI technology. This is a direct control of military innovation. This would include AI surveillance, cyber weapons, and autonomous drones. So now Trump and Pete Ksbreth are trying to weaponize our military by the use of these super wealthy CEOs from OpenAI, Meta, and Palantir. And with the rank that they are obtaining, they have control over their subordinates, sergeants first class, first sergeants, and command sergeant majors. They have more rank than those that have already served. And these motherfuckers didn't even go through training.
Look at this world, man. There's a mop, like a robot mop in here. No shade. It's literally saying like, hey, how are you? Have a great day. Look at it. It has a face. It says, thank you for shopping at Quick Trip. Like, this is insane.
It may be cute now, but I think they're going to replace us like we replace the dinosaurs. It's okay to ask for help from time to time, but make sure you don't work them too hard, or you may get replaced a lot sooner.
Don't worry, I won't be bothering you tonight. Eve wore me out.
Eve?
Yeah, she wanted a name. Good night, babe.
Good night.
How far?
You are ready for the number?
Yes.
At one point, I projected under 400 million.
What?
500 million. Under 500 million.
Under 500 million.
Mm-hmm.
So you think that they have a very similar population to the United States and China?
Yes.
Wow.
There's 1 billion people missing.
And this goes back to what we were saying in the beginning or earlier in the podcast with all of the fake IDs and all of this stuff being found out.
Yeah, there's possibly 1 billion people missing. It's not a demographic question, Danny. It's a mathematical question. Let me ask you. It takes a couple to have 2 children to replace themselves, right? Think about it.
Yes.
If every couple produces 2 children,
the population stinks level.
Right. So, do you know how many children does every woman needs to have in her lifetime in order to triple its population in 50 years?
To triple its population in 50 years, you need to have what? Let me guess.
10.
I'm terrible at math.
I'll give you the answer because I asked AI. It's a crazy mathematical. If a country needs to triple or grow its population by 2.5 times, let's just say 2.5 times.
Okay.
Over a span of 50 years.
5 kids.
Each woman, you're right. Each woman needs to give birth on average between 4.5 to 5.5 children.
Well, my math sucks.
Wow.
Okay. Now, China grew its population officially from 1950. That's when the CCP took over to control. Okay, China's population in 1950 was about 500 million. In the year 2000, 50 years later, China's population was about 1.27 billion. Okay, so it grew 2.5 times, right? From 500 million to 1.27 billion. That's 2.5 times.
I just heard something that got me stumped. And I've been driving around for the past 2.5 hours just thinking about this, and I cannot seem to figure out this answer. But hear me out. I'm not big on conspiracy theory, but there are some questionable things that has happened that have your mind just thinking, right? So the lady, she posed a question. She was like, with all these tornadoes and all this bad weather coming along, Why haven't banks been hit? Why haven't we heard of banks being hit? These storms literally be coming through, wreaking havoc on gas stations, apartment complexes, housing, neighborhoods. And you hear about all this on the news, but you never hear anything about a bank being hit. She was like, the weather is being controlled by the government. I'm not saying I believe it, but shit like that has you thinking.
If this is true, then the government is going to do what the government does, and we'll never be able to stop them. I just hope this technology doesn't get into the hands of a reckless teenage hacker. Alright guys, those are creepy videos that gave me the chills. If you liked it, you already know what to do. Go ahead and hit that like button for me. Make sure to comment on your favorite clips and join the space crew, because we rocking.